Most Chicagoans know that the Buckingham Fountain is one of the largest fountains in the world, that it was donated to the city by Kate Buckingham in memory of her brother Clarence in 1927, and that it has beautiful displays every hour from mid-April through October, depending of course on the weather. Some Chicagoans, along with some curious tourists, have even seen the control hub next to the fountain and the pump room underneath as part of a special tour. But no one has ever been allowed to venture inside the fountain itself and discover the other secrets to this majestic beauty until now. We're tagging along with the chief engineer at the Chicago Park District, who makes sure the fountain is ready to fire each and every morning. Okay, Dan, it's now 7:57 in the morning, and the Buckingham Fountain is scheduled to go off at 8 a.m. every day, and since we're going in, it's not going on yet, right?
No, we have the computer bypassed. It will not start until we restart it.
We're not going to get in too much trouble.
No.
Dan, how many people do you think have been inside of that fountain?
Besides us, not many.
Our first destination is one of the 4 seahorses, which represent the 4 states that surround Lake Michigan. We have to be careful we don't slip off of what Dan calls the catwalk. We're actually walking on top of the pipes that run from the pump room into the center of the fountain. The surrounding water is only 4 feet at its deepest, but we are trying to stay as dry as possible. Okay, trying not to fall off the ledge.
We don't want to go to your left or you'll be in the deep water.
I'm just going to hang on to this, to the seahorse. One of the first sunrise duties is to make sure that all the jets in the fountain are neat and clean.
Got 134 different jets. As you can see, the water that comes out of the seahorse's mouth, if there's any type of debris in there, it will affect the spray pattern.
Okay, so do we have any gunk in there this morning?
There's a little bit. We could try to poke out of there.
What do we have in there?
Some feathers and a rock.
So how do those things get in there?
You know, I think the birds actually put them in there. We find chicken bones in the jets. I don't know if the birds are trying to hide them or what they're doing, but somehow they get in there.
Aside from pulling out any unwanted gifts from the surrounding community, all of the lights that create the beautiful night effect also need to be checked before the fountain turns on for the day.
There's lights in the seahorses, there's actually underwater lights throughout the fountain, there's lights in the bulrushes, and there are lights behind the whole brown ledge all the way around the fountain.
And every single one of those lights needs to be checked?
We try to check them on a daily basis.
And how many are there?
820.
We continue our trek through the bottom pool, where the only place left to go is up. We make our way up a ladder to the first basin, then up to the middle basin, where there are more lights, more jets, and a hole. So this is how we get in the fountain.
This is the manhole and the ladder leading down to the belly of the beast.
When we come back, we descend 25 feet into the dark and see what's inside this historic landmark. We're about to climb inside the Buckingham Fountain, and this is one dirty job. We've climbed 2 ladders into the fountain's middle bowl and straight down a manhole. Okay, we're officially underneath the Buckingham Fountain. This circular room is damp, dark, and a bit creepy.
I don't think people even realize that there's anything underneath here. We're basically underneath the water.
So how often does somebody come down here? Somebody come down here every day?
On a daily basis. We check the operation of the valves. If there's any lighting issues, there's another actual area out there with breaker boxes and things out there.
The room also contains the piping we were walking on earlier. The center of the fountain needs as much juice as possible to power the jets on the very top of the bowl, the ones you see during the major display every hour. So, 2 out of the 3 pumps in the pump room feed water directly in here to the center of the fountain that lead to the jets up top. One pump is strictly reserved for the jet that shoots water up to 150 feet. All of the main pipes are still original, but will be replaced in a $25 million renovation this fall. We're ready to hit our next stop, out of the hollow chamber and up another ladder to the very top of the fountain.
We are at the very top. There's 37 jets. The outer ring is what we call the outer top ball, the inner top ball, and the single nozzle for the high jet. They actually redid them and repainted them last year, but this is all original.
Also, in the upcoming renovation, all of the nozzles on every jet in the fountain will be replaced, including the 37 jets up here. From the top, we could see there were a few disgruntled tourists because the fountain was not yet running. So we decided to head on back into the control room to turn it on. Okay, so this is where the action happens, right? This is where somebody turns on the fountain?
This is it. Normally the computer would turn it on, but seeing that we're in bypass, why don't you turn it on?
Okay, which button do I press?
You just want to hit that green button for P1. It'll start up.
This one right here?
Yep.
Oh, there we go. So there it is in all its glory. 1.5 million gallons of water on display right in Chicago's front yard. And now that you've seen every nook and cranny of the fountain, get ready for it to change. The Chicago staple won't look this way for long. After the massive renovation this fall, the fountain will be restored to its original look, adding the fountain's 4 corners that were removed in the 1980s. To eliminate leaks, the bottom will be resurfaced and raised, which will also conserve water, and also be on the lookout for a new and improved light and music display in the evenings. The one thing that won't change, though, is the fountain's power to captivate almost anyone who sees it.